What's going on, guys? It is Bernardo, and you just saw a quick unboxing on Lenovo's ThinkEdge SE450. And today is all about a 5-day build, taking this machine and configuring it with a Windows Server 2025, yes, and configuring it with a L2TP IPsec VPN services. So let's get right into it. All right. So before I go over my day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5, let's take a closer look on the SE450. So at the very top of the device, you're going to see this. This is basically your lock and key for the top cover. And on the other side, which is your left-hand side, this is basically your system LEDs, which basically gives you your network connectivity, your Wi-Fi connectivity, ID, and if you got like any issues during boot time, it would kind of show you here. On the left side, I only show you guys only on the left side, but on the right side, it's kind of the same thing. The only difference is on the right side, it says right front. This is where you kind of hook up your rails to rack it inside your LAN room. Now on the back side, on the left-hand side, you have your xClarity port. This port allows you to manage the server. You have your VGA, you have your external diagnostic port. Right next to that, you have your power button, as well as more system LED indicators, which is cool. If you look a little bit more to the right, you're going to see the following. You're going to see two 3.0 USB ports, another USB port, but I learned the hard way with this one. This is a 2.0 USB port, but this is only for the xClarity mobile only. It's not a regular USB port. So many times I plugged in a flash drive or keyboard and mouse, and I'm thinking that the port has died, but that's not the case because this port is for something else. And then all the way to the right-hand side, you're going to see the beautiful 1100 watt power supplies. I love dual power supplies because it keeps you nice and redundant. That is the way to go. Now, on the back side, you're going to see the 6 fans. This is the back side of everything. Now, these 6 fans are swappable. I believe the measurements are around, I'm looking at my notes, 60 millimeter fans. I'm going to show you guys a closer look on that. At the very top, you're going to see this blue button. It's on the left and the right-hand side. If you press down and kind of slide the lid to open up the computer. So just press down and just slide it, and you're going to see this beautiful internal devices, all the stuff, all the good stuff. In the middle, you got the Intel processor is only a single processor. You have, I believe, 10 DIMM slots to insert, memory. For this guide, I think I only had 8. And you also have a couple of risers. The only riser that's actually filled up would be on the left-hand side. It is a X16 connector. This right here is actually the fiber card. This model actually came with an SFP fiber module. So that was pretty awesome. And closer look of the single Intel processor. We're going to go over the specifications of how much memory and what type of processor and core clock speed. If you take a closer look at the bottom, this is one of the things I hate about the ThinkEdge is that it is like to get a hold of the hard drives, you got to take so many things out. Like that black plastic thing, you got to remove that, as well as you got to remove both risers. And then there's a bunch of other screws that you have to remove to take that casing to get a hold of the hard drive. So it's really, really hard to get access to the hard drives on the SE450. Now, for one of the risers, you're going to see that this nice little blue button. It's kind of springy, just twist it, and that allows you to remove it with no problem. On the right-hand side at the upper, you're going to see this wrench. I haven't used this wrench at all, so I don't really know what this wrench is all about. I typically will have my own tools to open and do whatever I need to do within the SE450. This is a closer look on one of the 1100 watt power supplies. Now, the machine does come with C13, C14 cables. you are able to use the standard 3-prong cables. So it doesn't really matter which one you use. On the left hand and on the right hand side of the device, you're going to see this blue tab. Now, this blue tab would allow you to remove the other panel that will give you access to the fans. So if you just press it in and just slide the panel away, you're going to get access to the 6 fans, which are swappable. Those little blue lines, little blue curves, if you put your 2 fingers, your thumb and your index, and you just press down and lift up, you're going to get access to the 60mm fan, which is awesome. Now, for specifications, a quick overview of the specifications on this machine. It is the following. It's housing an Intel Xeon Gold 6330N processor. Clock speed on that is 2.20 gigahertz. 512 gigs of memory. Again, we had 8 sticks. I think each stick is 64 gigs. For hard drive space, it comes with 4 1,788 gigs hard drives, which each one is around 1.7 terabytes. On day one, I think on day 1 or day 3, I forgot which day, when I get into the system setup to look at some of the specifications and set up the RAID, I kind of show you guys that this is where I got that number from. Once I got everything up and running, I took some snapshots to show you guys that this is like really real. This is crazy. The Intel Xeon Gold 6330N CPU, clock speed 2.20 gigahertz, 1 socket, 28 cores, 56 logical processors. This guy is a beast. For memory, 512. And for the hard drive space, again, I think in day 3, I'm looking at my notes again. In day 4, we do the RAID setup. And for the RAID setup, I actually did a RAID 5, which we are going to go over pretty soon. And that RAID 5 gave me 5.2 terabytes of hard drive space. Now, for day 1, so what happened in my day 1? Day 1 was all about building a DC. So the way that I built my DC was I used VMware Workstation to create a virtual machine. And for that virtual machine, I used Server 2025. So I'm going to show you guys really quick what I did. We're going to do a quick commentary. So from here, I created a folder to house a couple of virtual machines that I created for this build. That's the name of the folder. Within here, I copied the path and I went into my VMware Workstation to create my virtual machine. Really basic standard. I did a little bit of organization. I created a folder called Think Edge SE 450. I mean, you don't really need to do this, but this is just me being anal. I clicked on File, New Virtual Machine, very standard. Clicked on Next here. Because of the VMware Workstation that I have, it does not have Server 2025. So using Server 2022 worked out well. I gave the virtual machine a name. I gave it the path. I gave it the size. From here, I kind of changed some of the settings. I gave it a little bit more memory, and I kind of bridged it. And I kind of mounted the ISO of the Windows Server image, which was the Server 2025. I think I got the latest and greatest one. This thing changes so much. But I mounted it. I clicked OK. I finished it. And from here, I gave it some time. And once it pops up, that allows me to basically, I moved it, right? Moved it inside the folder that I created, and I just powered on the virtual machine. And then once I powered the virtual machine, I did my thing. I booted into the CD. It's loading up the Windows server. Once it loads up the Windows server, pick your language. Everything is English. I clicked on Next here. US for the keyboard and input. I would like to install the operating system. Make sure that you agree the license and terms for everything. Click on Next. It's getting everything ready. I did have some concerns. I thought Server 2025 did not have the drivers for the hard drive. From here, I actually picked the standard eval version, the desktop experience. But like I was saying before, and I accept the license and terms here, I had some concerns because I thought the Server 2025 did not have the drivers to pick up the hard drive on this machine, but it did. I was super happy that it was there. So from here, I picked my hard drive. I clicked on Next to install the operating system. Again, we're building a DC from a virtual machine. It's going to start installing. This process took a long time. Once I got here, I gave it a local password. Now, this password is the local admin password for this DC. Once I confirm it, it's going to finalize all the settings for you. Eventually, what I'm going to do is log into the machine. Once I log into the machine, I install VMware tools from Server Manager. I started to add roles and features. I click next here. From here, I picked Active Directory services, Active Directory domain services. I clicked on add features because I wanted to add all the additional features. I clicked next here. Once I click next again because I'm not going to add any additional features. A confirmation. I clicked on install. Very standard of building a DC. This is what I did for day one. I was just setting my environment to get the ThinkEdge SE450 ready. So once it got here, I clicked on promote this server to a domain controller. I'm going to get the following wizard. Once the wizard completes loading up, I selected add a new forest. I gave my roots domain name, which was btnhd.edu. I clicked on next here. I provided a DSRM password, which was the directory services restore mode password, and make sure you confirm it. I clicked on next here. It's going to verify the NetBIOS name assigned to the domain. I'm going to click next here. Yes. So from here, I left everything as the default. I click next again, It's going to do the pre-check. Once the pre-check is completed, and eventually what's going to happen, it's going to install, it's going to reboot, stop all the services, restart the server for you. And then applied all the computer settings. All right, once it finished rebooting, you could do a Control-Alt-Delete and just log into your domain controller, make sure all the service is up and running, and then you should be good to go. Now, on day two, I built a virtual machine with Windows 10 as the operating system. This is the machine that we're going to use to test our VPN connection. And for my day two, the following happened. We're going to go over it really quick. I'm using the same folder path that I created my DC in day one. I created another folder, PC01. I copied that path. I went into my VMware workstation, and it's the same thing, file new. And from here, I click next. I changed the operating system to Windows 10, x64, click next here. I gave the virtual machine a name, and I provided the path. And I did all that good stuff. I mounted the Windows 10 ISO image into this virtual machine, and I booted into the machine to the point that it allows me to, install. Basically, next. Pick the hard drive, pick the allocated hard drive that you attach to your virtual machine, and just install the operating system from there. Once the operating system was completed and I was inside the desktop, I installed VMware tools. Very important when you're dealing with VMs. And I did a lot of customization. I made things small. I patched it up, pushed out all the Windows updates, and that's it. All right, so day three of our build. It's all about building the USB bootable flash drive from here. I actually used Rufus, which was Rufus 4.5.2, the portable version. Let's do some commentary because I recorded everything. And from here, I loaded my Rufus. I actually inserted the flash drive. The flash drive was a 64 gig flash drive, right? I clicked on select and I went into the folder where the Windows Server 2025 ISO image is located. So this is the path that I went into. I'm trying to locate it. I forgot where it's at. And I think I put it inside the documentations. There you go. I clicked on it. And once Rufus loads up, it's going to pre-populate a bunch of other things, and you should get the option, or the start option should highlight for you, which is what you want. Once it highlights, there it goes. Once it highlights it to start, you're ready to go. You don't really need to do much. Just click on start. For the Windows user experience, I left everything as the default. I clicked on OK. And you're going to get an additional dialog box. This box is going to warn you that it's going to reformat and destroy everything inside that flash drive. So click OK, and it is going to start doing its thing. Once it's completed, boom, I clicked on show hidden, I clicked on my USB, and I ejected my USB. Safe to remove the hard drive, and then we're good to go to the next step. All right, so day 4 with the ThinkEdge SE450. On day 3, we created our bootable flash drive using Rufus. We installed Windows Server 2025. I'm going to insert the flash drive right there. I already hooked up a keyboard and mouse. I have my VGA cable. I actually got and found 2 modules with Ethernet because the module that came with this machine was fiber. I don't have a fiber switch, so Ethernet is the way to go. I already hooked up the power cables to provide power. The power button is actually blinking right now. So I'm going to press it so it can boot up. And today is all about installing the operating system. We're going to get into the BIOS so we are able to configure the hard drive. I don't know if this guy has a RAID controller. We're going to take a look at that. If it does, we're going to set up a RAID system and install the operating system. All right, so that's loading up, and I actually took a little bit of B-roll of me configuring the RAID as well as starting the operating system and stuff because I didn't want you guys to wait. Once it gets here, once that boots up, the machine is warming up. It takes some time. You got to click on it. Once you click on it, it should highlight blue, which is good. It should load up the xClarity Provisioning Manager. From here, I went into the system summary, and this is where I got that information from one of the slides that I show you guys. That's where I got the CPU information as well as the clock speed and the memory. I'm showing you guys right here. 8 memory sticks, total of 512 gigs, 64 gigs each, right? And I think I went down a little further and I got some information on the hard drive. See, we got 4 hard drives, 1,788 gigs, which is a total about 1.7 terabytes each. From here, I went into the RAID setup because it's time for me to create a RAID. I was super happy that this guy had a RAID controller. Awesome. This allows me to do a RAID setup, so I was super happy. So from here, I clicked on that little arrow. It gives me this. I did a RAID level 5. I clicked on next. I clicked on next again. This is all the settings. I left it as is. It gave me about 5.2 terabytes of storage space. It starts creating the virtual disk as soon as you click on next. Once it's completed, it takes you here. Awesome. You see our Array 0 RAID 5, and it is a 5.2 terabyte. Boom. So from here, I actually went into the UEFI setup. So once I'm here, I went into the boot manager section. And the reason why I went into the boot manager section is because I need to add the generic USB. So I'm able to boot into the USB that we inserted to install the operating system. All right, so it looks like I did not capture some of that information, which, it kind of sucks, but you got to go inside the boot manager and just make sure you add the USB generic to the boot option. And reboot, save the options first and then reboot the machine. Once you reboot the machine, make sure you press F12. All right, it's going to take you here and boom, there goes our SanDisk or whatever type of flash drive you inserted into your server. And all you have to do is just select it. And once you select it, it's going to boot into the flash drive, right? It's going to load all the operating system files. It's going to load Windows. It's going to give you this. We went over all this stuff. This is the same process that we did on day 1 when we installed the domain controller stuff. Just pick your flavor. I picked the standard eval desktop experience. One of the major concerns that I had when I was installing the operating system on this particular machine, I thought that the server 2025 did not have the proper drivers to pick up the hard drives. Sometimes that happens, so you might have to download the drivers and then embed them into the bootable drive so you could insert them. I got lucky on this part. Server 2025 picked up the hard drives and I was able to actually pick it, which you're going to see right here. I picked the one disk 0, which is the unallocated space, 5.2 terabytes of space. Once I picked that, I clicked on next. And then it started installing the operating system. All right, day 5. Hallelujah. Day 5 is all about installing the L2TP IPsec VPN services within Windows Server 2025. Holy crap, this is a long video. All right, so on the desktop of the ThinkEdge SE450, I'm tired of saying that. Seriously. So what I'm going to do is click on Start. Within Start, I am going to type in ISE. From here, I am going to locate the Windows PowerShell ISE. And on the right-hand side, I am going to click on Run as an Administrator. We're going to do a little PowerShell. Yes, you are able to open up the Server Manager and install all the features and roles, but I love using PowerShell. I'm a PowerShell fanatic. First PowerShell command that we're going to run is the following: install Windows Feature Remote Access. We're going to click on the keyboard F8 to run it. It's going to start collecting the data and it's going to install. Give it some time and it's going to give you a success. Awesome. You don't need to restart, which is great. Now, the next PowerShell command that we're going to run is the following: install Windows Feature Direct Access VPN, and make sure you use the switch of Include Management Tools, and then click on F8. F8 will run it. It's going to start the installation. Once it's completed, you're going to get an exit code of success. Again, another feature that you do not need to reboot, which is awesome. Now, the last one that we are going to install is the following: install Windows Feature Routing and use a switch of Include Management Tools, and then click on F8 on the keyboard to run it. It's going to start the installation and give it some time. Boom. You're going to get an exit code of success. And again, you don't need to restart the machine at all, but I like to restart my machine. So I did a restart -computer command and it rebooted. Now, once your machine reboots, log into your machine. And then once you're on the desktop, we're going to click on Start. Within Start, we're going to click on Server Manager. It's going to load up. Once it finished loading up, let's click on Tools. And we're going to click on Remote Access Management. It's going to load up. Give it some time. Once it loads up, this is what you're going to get. We're going to click on Direct Access and VPN. Click on it. You're going to get this. Now, the option that we're going to pick will be Run the Remote Access Setup Wizard. So click on it. Now, you get three options. Now, the option that we're going to pick is Deploy VPN Only. So click on it. This loads up. Got a big red mark. Do not worry. We're going to configure it. Select the name of your server. Yes, don't sue me. This is the default name. I forgot to change it. I know. Don't yell at me, please. Right-click on your server. Click on Configure and Enable Routing and Remote Access. It's going to load up the wizard. We're going to click Next here. The option that we are going to pick, well, the option that I picked was Custom Configuration. We're going to click Next here. I'm going to check off VPN access and NAT. Click Next. Click Finish. You're going to get this. Click on Start Services. It is going to start the services. Give it some time. You should get a green check mark or a green arrow on the server, right? It was red before. Now it is green. Don't do anything, because what's going to happen is that it's going to expand like that. Boom. And now we're going to start playing around. So right-click on the server, right? I'm going to right-click on the server node. And from here, we're going to go into Properties. Now, within Properties, I am going to jump into the Security tab. Now, within the Security tab, I am going to enable Allowed Custom IPsec Policy for L2TP. So enable it. Give it a pre-share key. I'm going to give it this. Now, the pre-share key should not be easy to crack. Make sure it's really long. I would recommend using one of those random kind of tools that will generate a really strong password for you. This right here was just testing purposes, but I wouldn't ever use this. So don't use it, okay? So once you're here, we're going to head over into the IPv4 tab. I am going to enable Static Address Pool. I am going to click on Add. I am going to provide a start IP address and an end IP address, which will give me a number of 21 IP addresses. These are the IP addresses that will be provided to the VPN users once they establish a connection to our VPN server. Once you're done here, we're going to click OK. We're going to apply. Once you click on apply, it's going to give you the following: to enable custom IPsec policies for your L2TP connections, you must restart the routing and remote access. Yes, we're going to restart later, so don't worry about that. So click OK. And we're going to click OK again to get out of here. Now, from here, we're going to go into the IPv4. So open that up. We're going to select NAT. We're going to right-click on NAT. We're going to select New Interface. And then you're going to pick your interface. Now, for me, eventually I changed it, but for me, I did slot 5 port 1. which was actually the fiber card that I have on the ThinkEdge SE450. So that is what I selected. I clicked OK. Once you click OK, you're going to get this dialog box. We're going to select public interface connected to the internet and make sure that you check off enable NAT on this interface. Once you do that, let's head over to the services and ports tab, and you're going to locate VPN gateway L2TP IPsec running on this server. Give it a check mark. As soon as you give it a check mark, you're going to get an additional dialog box. And then you need to provide your private IP address. Now, because I'm doing everything locally in like a small isolated environment, I did a 127.0.0.1, which was a loopback. But I would recommend that you give your private IP address here of this machine, okay? Once you do that, let's click on OK. We're going to click on apply, and we're going to click OK again. Awesome. We're going to select our server. We're going to right-click on our server. Let's go to all tasks and let's restart our server. You're going to get the following dialog box. Give it some time. Once it's done, it should disappear and it's restarted. Now we're going to configure a little bit of firewall settings on our server. So let's click on the start menu and we're going to type in Windows Firewall and click on Windows Defender Firewall with Advanced Security. Once you're here, let's go into the inbound rules. Let's right click on that. Let's click on new rule. Let's click on predefined. Click on the drop down menu. And from here, we're going to select and locate routing and remote access because Windows Server already give you predefined rules. So take advantage of them because it's, you don't have to do much. So select that. Click next. From here, what type of rule you want to create? I'm going to select the first one, which is the L2TPN. Click on next. We're going to allow the connection, click on finish, and we're done. Awesome. For this testing environment, I created a local user account within my VPN server. So I right-clicked on the start menu. I selected computer management. I went into local users and groups. I selected users. I right-clicked on the user folder and I clicked on new user. I provided my user a name. I gave it a password and I said password never expires. Don't scream at me. That is definitely not best practice. I'm just doing it because it is a testing lab. Okay. So once you're done, click on create, click on close, and then your user account is created. Awesome. Once your account is created, right click on it, go to properties. Within properties, go into the dial in tab. Make sure the network access permission is set to allow access. Click apply, click OK, we're done. And I tested everything. I was able to ping everything. Everything worked perfect, but epic failure. And I'm going to show you guys the epic failure. I did a lot of digging and this is super common. It's like really off and on. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's a KB problem that you have to remove. It's a shit show, pardon my French. But VPN, how did I establish the VPN using Windows built-in? So on the Windows 10 box, we're going to click on the start menu. We're going to type in VPN. I'm going to click on VPN settings. From here, we're going to click on add a VPN connection. For the VPN provider, there's only one Windows built in. Give your connection a name. Provide the server name or IP address. I gave it the following. For the VPN type, I clicked on the drop-down and I picked L2TP IPsec with the pre-shared key because that's what we had. I gave it the pre-shared key. Once I gave it the pre-shared key, I scrolled down a little bit and I'm going to leave it as the username and password. I provided the username and I gave it the password and I clicked on save. Boom. So click on your new VPN connection. You're going to get three options. I clicked on connect, give it some time, and I received this error. I received this error a lot. I Googled this so many times and I troubleshooted this to the point that it drove me crazy. So some of the troubleshooting steps that I've done and it did not work out for me. So I definitely closed this. Once I closed this, on the right-hand side, I went into change adapter options. It took me here. I kind of right-clicked on my VPN connection and I went to properties. Within properties, I went into security. Within security, I selected allow these protocols and I checked off and made sure that Microsoft CHAP version 2 was enabled. By default, it is enabled. And you should also make sure you check off challenge handshake authentication protocol. I'm not showing you here, but I did check it off. Trust me. I double check. Make sure that's checked off. It still didn't work for me. I did a little bit more research. I found another article, and it basically said something going on with the mini ports. So you got to go inside the device manager, which I did. I selected all the mini ports. I right-clicked on it. I went to uninstall the device. I uninstalled all of them and did a reboot. Regardless, if you remove them and you reboot your machine, they're going to come back. That's the whole process of it. So removing them, restarting it, and then for them coming back should work. So that's what I did. I rebooted, and no lie, it happened again. Same error, same error, same error. I had the worst luck configuring a VPN server dealing with Windows Server and using the Windows 10 built-in VPN settings. It's like the worst. So I'm really hoping that someone out there has configured this properly. I would love to pick your brain. Hit me up, please. I want to get into your brain and understand how you configure it and got it up and running. And that's it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.